Have you ever heard phrases like money makes money or the rich keep getting richer? Or maybe even the more money you have, the more money you make. There's a reason why these sayings exist, and today I want to take you behind the scenes to explain why this happens, especially when it comes to that magic number, 100K. I'll walk you through why reaching that $100,000 milestone is such a game changer for your net worth, and more importantly, what you can focus on to get there faster. By the end, you'll have two practical strategies to put into action starting today. Let's start with why your net worth seems to explode after you hit 100K. Some people believe that once you reach a certain threshold, you suddenly have access to better investment opportunities, like it's an exclusive club where the rich just get richer. There's a bit of truth to that, but it's not the whole story. The real reasons your wealth starts to grow faster after 100K come down to two major factors: capital scaling and compound interest. And trust me, these are more powerful than any secret investment strategy. Capital scaling. The more you have, the more you earn. You've probably heard people say, it takes money to make money. That's capital scaling in a nutshell. Here's what that looks like in action. Imagine you invest $1,000 and get a 10% return. After a year, you've made $100 in profit. Not bad, right? But if you invest $10,000 with that same 10% return, you make $1,000 in profit. And with $100,000, that same 10% return nets you $10,000. Same percentage, way different outcomes. The more you have to invest, the bigger your gains. It's why rich people get richer, not because they have secret investments, but because they have more capital to scale up their returns. I remember when I first started investing, my initial returns felt tiny. I'd check my account and think, is this even worth it? But when I scaled up my investments over time, those returns started to add up fast. That's why once you hit 100K, things start to snowball. You're not just getting a percentage of a small amount, you're earning a percentage of something much bigger. The magic of compound interest. Now, let's talk about the real MVP of wealth building. Compound interest. Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. Here's how it works. Compound interest means that you're earning interest on your original investment and on the interest that investment has already earned. It's like putting your money on autopilot. It starts working for you and then works on itself too. Let's break it down with a real-life example. Let's say you invest $1,000 every month and you're earning an 8% average return annually. After about 7 years, you'll hit $100,000. That's a long grind. 7 years of saving, investing, and being consistent to get to your first big milestone. But here's where the magic happens. Getting to your next 100K won't take you 7 years. It'll take less than 4. Why? Because now you're earning 8% on your existing 100K, plus on the interest that 100K has already earned. This is the compounding effect, and it only gets better with time. Each additional $100,000 takes less time to reach than the one before. By the time you have $1 million, adding another 100K takes just over a year. It's like watching a snowball roll down a hill. At first, it's small and slow, but as it picks up snow, it gets bigger and faster. Eventually, it becomes this unstoppable force, growing exponentially. That's exactly what compound interest does for your wealth. Why the beginning feels so slow? Now, let's be real. The hardest part of building wealth is often at the beginning. When you're first starting out, it feels like you're moving through molasses. You're working hard, cutting back on expenses, and saving every penny, but the progress seems so slow. This is why a lot of financial advice early on focuses on things like cutting out daily lattes and avoiding unnecessary expenses. The idea is that when you're in the early stages, every penny matters. I've been there, trying to cut back on small luxuries like takeout or subscriptions, thinking it's going to make a huge difference. At first, it feels like all this effort isn't moving the needle much, but those small wins add up, and once you hit that first 100K, things start moving a lot faster. It's like laying the foundation of a house. It's the most time-consuming part. But once it's in place, building the rest of the house happens quickly. Now, if you haven't reached $100,000 yet, don't worry. Here's where we get into the actionable stuff. You can still take steps today to speed up your journey toward that milestone. 1. Invest for as long as possible. One of the most important factors in building wealth is time. Let's say you're earning $60,000 a year and you're able to invest 20% of that, or $12,000 a year. If you invest that amount at an average return of 8%, after 23 years, you'll have about $730,000. But here's where time really makes a difference. If you keep investing for just 4 more years, you'll have over $1 million. That's the power of compounding. Time does the heavy lifting for you, especially later on in your journey. So even if you're starting small, start now. Every day that you're not investing is a day you're losing out on the power of compound interest. Time is your greatest ally. 2. Focus on increasing your contributions. Another key strategy is increasing the amount you invest. I often see people get obsessed with finding the perfect investment, trying to squeeze out an extra 1 or 2% in returns. Sure, a higher return is great, but the real game changer is increasing the amount you invest. For example, if you invest $200 a month for 30 years at 10%, you'll end up with just under $400,000. If you manage to increase your returns by 2%, you'd have just under $600,000. That's a big difference, right? But what if, instead of chasing returns, you focused on doubling your contributions? If you invest $400 a month instead of $200, you end up with $800,000. The amount you invest has a way bigger impact on your final result than the returns you're chasing. So, rather than obsessing over what fund to pick or which investment platform to use, focus on ways to increase your income and put more into your investments each month. This could be negotiating a raise at your job, starting a side hustle, or even investing together with a partner. The more you can contribute, the faster you'll hit that 100K milestone. Personally, my strategy is a blend of both approaches. I focus on earning more in my day-to-day life, whether that's through my career or business, while consistently investing a portion of my income. Even when my investments were small at the beginning, I made it a priority to invest consistently. Why? Because it builds the right habits early on. When you're used to investing a small amount regularly, you're ready to scale it up when your income increases. And the best part? You've already got compound interest working for you in the background. The key is to start investing as early as possible, even if you feel like you don't have much. Time is your best friend, and the more time you give your money to grow, the more powerful that compounding effect will be. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. At the start, it feels like nothing's happening. It's small and slow. But as it gathers snow, it starts to grow bigger and move faster. Before you know it, that snowball is huge and almost unstoppable. This is exactly how wealth building works. The hardest part is the beginning, where progress seems slow, but once you get momentum, once that snowball gets rolling, it grows faster and faster. And that's when wealth building becomes truly fun. Trust me, you'll feel it once you cross that 100K mark. It's about consistency, not perfection. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. Start where you are and stay consistent. You don't need to have 100K sitting in the bank to start building wealth. What you need is time, consistency, and the right habits. Don't worry about finding the perfect investment. The stock market, your retirement account, whatever you choose, these are just tools to multiply your wealth. The real key is contributing regularly and increasing your contributions whenever you can. And once you hit that 100K milestone, you'll see how quickly things start to pick up speed. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.